Hey, Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and to the Akims preaching the gospel of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai in sincerity and truth, diligence of mind. Yep, so you see on the screen, there's a agenda to set the minimum wage across the United States at $15 per hour. Right, it didn't go through, but nonetheless, it's just the strategy of the elites to destroy the economy furthermore by using the laws and the books to turn the people against each other. All right, and you just understand how they've used the so-called scandemic to shut down the economy and put so many people out of businesses and out of business, and folks are just upset, and we haven't really heard much about people filing for bankruptcy, or much of what you hear is just forbearance, 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 and so-called student loan forgiveness. And you also hear about all these stimulus, this and stimulus that. Yeah, so you just you know, pay attention to the tricks of the elites. They like to have their so-called talking heads, especially these politicians, tell the people that having $15 an hour is a great thing, but they don't tell you the other side of the drama of what it's gonna do to the so-called business owner or the employer. And you also have folks, that own businesses and they also work for somebody else. So you can imagine what that's gonna do, do to them. So that's how the elites are, man. They always want to have an opportunity to attack the people, and they want to test the waters. And they're not done with it, because with all the inflation that they are pushing, hey, it's uh, it's causing so much damage, to the economy, and the price of production or price of goods is gonna go up. Okay, and when you have people's wages being stagnant for a long time, what do you think is gonna happen? They can no longer, stretch what they have as per wages. Now they gotta go and look for public assistance. So they're basically forcing people to get on the government's list, and that's exactly what the elites want, to force the people to go to the government for all things. Just like we still under the curses, and it says we shall go to the enemy for the want of all things. So that's exactly what the elites want the people to have as part of a mindset. All right. And they tell you that you're not going to own anything and you're going to be happy. Yeah, so that's the whole plan, and you could do some research on it, and you could also look at other people's, reports. It shows you how much, they really despise, the freedom of the people to interact freely and to converse and conduct business, So I'm going to read a precept from the book of Isaiah chapter 19. All right, Isaiah chapter 19 and verses 14 and 15. Always remember that goal is to collapse the economy and push it in the direction where you have to only deal with digital payments. In other words, they're prepping people for the mark of the beast, the beast system. All right, so they have to collapse the so-called economic model that they have. They have to move everything over to digital. So the book of Isaiah chapter 19 verse 14 says, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai Shema Kadash hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. So these people out here, man, are just confused, man, because they don't understand what's really going on. They think that the government is really, really helping them to get back on their feet, but it's not. And when you walk in the system, you see the corruption, you see the loopholes, and you see how the elites are able to stay rich and get rich. And that when you want to, take advantage of that, all of a sudden, they want to change the rules. So you just have to be aware, man, that the system is causing a lot of people to lose their mind. And people are upset. And then it says in verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So they have to collapse the economy. They have to force the people into the slave class, So folks that at one time they were middle class, now they have to be fighting for minimum wage. They have to take pay cuts and all that stuff. So that's the whole agenda, to force people into that so-called universal basic income. And it's going to be testy, man, when you see Edomites competing with so-called minorities for low-paying jobs. Then there's a problem. When you see Edomites doing Uber, there's a problem. So it just shows you how more damage these so-called elites have caused, to the world. So let me play this video real quick.
The minimum wage is off the table. In the Senate, at least for now, as part of the president's $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan. We talked about this, Ilan. Ilan Moy joins us now with more. We were jumping the gun trying to figure out who was a yes or a no before you found out whether it could be in the bill in the first place, based on reconciliation.
Well, that's right, Joe. The White House had clearly been bracing for this decision, but it was still a big blow to Democrats when they found out last night that they cannot raise the minimum wage as part of their COVID relief package because, as you said, it simply does not comply with the special rules that they're using to pass this legislation without Republican support. So now Democrats are regrouping. Since the rules only apply to the Senate, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that she still plans to move forward today with a vote on a version of the bill that includes the $15 an hour rate. And she said that Democrats will pursue every possible path in the fight for 15. Meanwhile, progressives said they're ready to go nuclear. They're pointing to the real problem, they say, which is the rules, and they urge party leadership to either ignore the parliamentarians' decision or get rid of the...
Yeah, they're willing to break the rules for their so-called so-called election, for their so-called science, but you're not willing to break the rules for 15. There should be a new hashtag, man. Break the rules for 15, and it just shows you that all they do is play with the people's emotions, man. So the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 4 tells you that and the doors shall be shut in the streets. Businesses are going to have to shut down because they can't cope with the expenses of operating. All right. And it says, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So your so-called entertainment industry, your so-called spots, whatever, all that stuff, it's all going down the drain because the Lord has already said that the joy and the mirth of the land is going to be gone. So the people have nothing to look forward to, but to be watching old reruns and hoping that whatever money they have left is able to sustain them. All right. So it's going to create a lot of animosity and unrest. And the government will have to create another boogeyman, another boogeyman to make the people focus on why they end up, how you say it, deceiving them. So you just have to pay attention to what they want to do with the so-called economy, and you be prepared spiritually, because Scripture talks about, a wise man, circumspect, and he understands what's going on. You see what's going on, and you're able to prepare yourself. Okay. So, the book of Micah, chapter 2, verses 1 and 2 tells you, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Yep. So the Lord is going to bring hell, to these so-called politicians. When the time is right, it's going to be a spiritual, judgment. Okay. That's why you have to wait upon the Lord, to let His will be done. So it says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And you also know that's the reason why they have to push for this so-called Great Reset. All right. So they've destroyed people's homes, people's livelihoods. They've destroyed people's lives. So they're not satisfied yet. So until, they try to raise their hands and touch the apple of the Most High's eyes, the elect of the nation of Israel, then you're going to see power from on high. Then it says in verse 2, and they covet fields and they take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Yeah, so you're going to see what they want to do to the people, man. All right, this last day, you're going to see the anger and frustration of the elite being acted out by this so-called law enforcement and all these military bodies. All right, so just keep your eye, open and be circumspect, man. Don't let your so-called desire to have a paycheck, blind you, because what the Lord has set in store for His elect is far valuable, more valuable than the junk that you see upon the face of the earth. So that's my 2 cents there. I can, just keep your eye on this so-called political agenda they keep pushing. All right, Shalom.